Well, our next group was supposed to be Too Fact, Too Furious versus the United Emu Directorate, but that has already been casted. Actually, let me see, what are... Huh. Alright, let's have a vote in the chat. Should we produce 2 casts of this group? Is this group good? Is this group good? I'll say that. Do we have good games? Yes for lulz? You know what? That's the kind of reasoning I can get behind. So I assume everyone watching has probably already seen these games. So we'll go through them and we'll cast them. Too Fact, Too Furious, more like true. Alright, oh I should probably stream. There we go. Alright, we are casting this game, the double up of Too Fact, Too Furious versus the United Emu Directorate Tier 3. Just to see, I'm very curious how, like I said, it will be interesting, I guess, for the viewers, for you guys at home, to see what the difference between these casts are. In the bottom left, we have nom.magicbullet. In the top right, we have CPL-RabbitRoo. Microing this probe mining out of their mind. That 300 APM, they are programming each individual probe to be for the rest of the game. Predicting ahead of time, queuing up every single command. Like they're queued up. It's like shift, mine, shift, return, shift, mine, shift, return, shift, build pylon, shift. Yeah, these probes are set. RabbitRoo, see that APM falling because they've already programmed their entire game. The conclusion has already happened, and we're just going to watch it. Gateway's down, so we should see the assimilator. Standard play from both players. Should be 13 cybernetic score. So very standard Protoss stuff from our Protoss. And very standard Terran stuff from our Terran, so not much more to say about that. RabbitRoo executing their macro. We'll be sent out to scout and find the Magic Bullet SCV, also scouting. Unfortunately, he is going to scout over to the right, giving Magic Bullet the free first scout here. But once he comes in, he shouldn't see anything too unusual, just a single gateway, no early pressure or harassment. We also have a factory being built, only one SCV on gas, so it will be an expand build instead of a 2-fac. So both of these players playing very, very honorably, and not at all doing anything like crazy or out of the ordinary. SCV coming back in, sees the Cora spinning, so you know what that means. That means that it is standard Protoss stuff. Yeah. probe gets in the scout for free. We'll see everything. Yeah, I mean, that's very important for the Protoss. It's going to basically just confirm that it's not 2-fac, and that'll give them the space they need to just go ahead and expand themselves, and also send the Dragoon over to start putting pressure on the bunker. The Marines will clean up the probe eventually, but you know, not before it gets enough information. There it goes. This Marine, a hero, kills a piloted drone, or not a piloted drone, unmanned. I don't know. He kills a mechanical construct, so you know he's the crack shot of his squad. 2 Dragoons heading out, gonna start using their range to poke at the bunker. Nexus Command Center almost done for. Magic Bullet Nexus just started. Yeah, and I guess we're then going to see where we're going to take this. This looks like it's a bit of an unfortunate Sim City. It looks like there's actually not enough room to fit another gateway in there, but you know, you can probably build like gateway, maybe. What's our standard screen? So if we build like this, you can go gateway. Okay, look, there's action happening. So 4 Dragoons is the pressure point, right? The siege tank has to be very careful. If RabbitRoo can jump on that siege tank, 2 shots, okay, but they're gonna back off. But they're pulling SCVs. Repair goes down on the bunker. Repair goes down on the siege tank. So RabbitRoo, you know, playing aggressively, forcing Magic Bullet to like respect the Dragoons. Siege mode just started. 2 more Dragoons on the way. No big tech behind this. We're going to go up to 500 gas almost. Missile turret going down. That's super smart. Helps defend from shuttle drops. All right, big move in from RabbitRoo. Oh, but the siege tanks are good. Oh, he gets the bunker. That's actually huge. Double shot, 2 volleys the tanks. Gets the Marines, 2 volleys the tank again. No repair. The Nat's busted. So I don't know if it's game over because these SCVs can block the ramp and we can get a siege tank up on the high ground. But again, okay, missile turret gets destroyed. Yeah, this is the play, right? You have to have these SCVs block the ramp so that you can set up the siege tank. If this falls, then like that's game over. SCVs can fight Dragoons. They're very good at it, actually. But there's going to be a lot of pressure put on this base. We even have a probe here ready to set up the Templar Archives in the Terran Natural, or maybe even place a Manor Nexus. Alright, siege mode laid down, but the Protoss has vision of it, and you know what? Sometimes there just isn't a mischance. GG's called from Magic Bullet, and RabbitRoo takes the first game in like a very decisive, like, hey, we're gonna play extremely standard. Aha, psych. Dive on the bunker. I mean, if you get the bunker, you actually should just dive and try to kill the Terran, especially if they don't have siege tanks up. All right, let's go to game 2 on Eclipse. And if that's what a 4-player map looks like from them, if I'm Magic Bullet, I'm very scared to see what our Protoss player is going to pull out on a 2-player map. In the top right, our red Protoss, RabbitRoo. And in the bottom left, we have our brown Terran, Magic Bullet. Looks like we're going to be getting some forward gates from RabbitRoo. Playing like a PVZ. Going to scout. It's in the base, of course. It's Eclipse. You're gonna steal the Terran's gas if the Terran lets you. I mean, it's just what you do. It's a way to limit the range of play that the Terran has, and then you also just get a free look into their base until it's dead. The actual vision on a simulator is kind of massive. It's a little silly. SCV going to check for proxies. So again, like, yeah, like, what is this? He's actually going to see 2 barracks, and that is kind of huge. Double gateway from RabbitRoo, which should help counter the double barracks play. Another supply depot going on. Again, like, where can Magic build in this base that isn't, like, going to be seen by the assimilator? SV does get the scout in the main, so it does know that it's double gateway. Marines and SCVs will tear through the assimilator eventually. It does live for a fairly long time. I guess we are then going to see what Phase 2 is going to be for Magic Bullet. Bunker is actually going up in the main. That's interesting, right? Because for me watching this, I would assume this is a defensive double gate, right? Because if you see 2 barracks, the Terran's pretty locked into doing something with Marines. And so, like, getting the double gateway is, like, to have enough zealots to be able to defend that. So, yeah, and he actually is canceling the bunker in the main. Okay. You know what? I think that's... I'll back up a little bit, and there's the academy, so it is going to be, like, a Marine push. So, the bunker in the main was kind of... Okay, here's the smart part, right? You start it, and then, if the zealots are coming, because you haven't scouted the zealots yet, if the zealots start coming up the ramp, you just finish it, the Marines are already there, they hop in the bunker, but it got about halfway, 3/4, 75% of the way done. No zealots were seen, you kind of have the SCV in the main seeing what's going on, so then you're like, okay, the attack isn't coming, so I can cancel it, I get 75 minerals back, and let's go build it in the natural. Yeah, that's alright. 2 Dragoons, so we're kind of going into a 2-gate goon thing. A 3rd barracks on the way, so Magic Bullet absolutely is going for that bio play. And Marines, surprisingly, are actually cracked against Dragoons. Like, you get enough Marines, they will shred through goons if they're able to get on an even fight. Now, the 2 Zealots kind of will throw off the math a little bit, and we're also mixing in medics. So, yeah, we're going to have a very interesting little game here. Oh no, but we have the Citadel of the Dunes started. Depending on when this attack comes, okay, it's coming now. You know what, I think that is enough to kill what Protoss has right now, but, especially with Stim, we could be seeing 2 different games. Either this is an insane attack and Magic Bullet, like, rolls RabbitRoo, or I'm completely wrong. We will see why Terran never goes bio in this matchup. That's 3 Zealots, 3 Dragoons. Stim in. Focus firing down to the Dragoons. Zealots are melted. Dragoons are melted. Last Zealot falls. Dragoon are now also dead. But they're going to run to the ramp. Marines are going to just finish off the Zealots here. But that means that the Protoss is going to lose. Oh no. Magic Bullet. They're going to get up the ramp. Now there are a lot of probes being pulled. The medic, actually, that's huge. That medic has a lot of healing energy, and that is, like, so important. Marines are going to try to fight up the ramp, but the probes are actually body blocking for the Marines. And while Marines do shred probes, they do not shred probes fast enough. Probes are melting, and the Zealot reinforcements are coming from the gateways. This was insane. I think if Magic Bullet might have just been better off taking care of these gateways, killing the pylon, and shutting Roo's gateway production down first, and then going for the attack up the ramp. But as it is, Magic Bullet is going to have to retreat. And what did they really just traded their entire army for a few gateway units and some probes, and really it's just even? And now there's DTs, and unfortunately, okay, it looks like these barracks will be lifting off, so we do have space for the comsat station. Actually crazy. But we have 2 DTs coming out. The thing is, DTs one-shot Marines, and that's pretty crazy. That's a lot of Marines that you can kill just one-shotting them. Magic Bullet getting the engineering bay going even harder on the bio, presumably, or they're just going for a missile turret. First DT is out. Oh, actually, yeah, first DT running across the map. We do have the energy on the comsat station, but we only have 1 scan. Oh, this scan is going down. Does the DT live or die? The DT... No way! 1 HP. How long are we waiting for the next scan? 26. So we are still waiting quite a while. This DT has free reign over the SCVs. We're going to have to see a missile turret built somewhere. It almost would be good to try to target down the comsat station, but it might have too much health. Missile turret being built up in the top. This DT racking up the SCV kills, down to 12 SCVs for Magic Bullet. And that missile turret will spawn. Yeah, the DT is in range. Dragoon does... Okay, we have more DTs. Targeting down the missile turret. Unfortunately, that should be... Oh, hold on, what is it? Alt-I? Okay, the DT in the main does die, but now we have DTs in the natural. Scan goes down, but DT's one-shotting Marines is pretty good. And as the comsat station wears off, those DTs will cloak again. 1 more scan goes down, but again, DT's one-shotting Marines. Pretty good. DT taking out the comsat station. 6 SCVs left. GGs are called by Magic Bullet. And RabbitRoo takes the game. Game 2. Alright. Lightstorm saying there was a 4th game to this Tier 3 group. Well... I only had 3 when I downloaded the replays from the website, so I do not have 4 games prepared. Our next match is going to be Shiver versus Jarcino and a Terran versus Protoss. Run right into it. Look, sometimes Protoss just gets away with it. So those 2 games are examples of Protoss getting away with it. Why did I speed up the replay? There we go. There we go. Jarcino, our light pink Protoss in the bottom left corner, versus Ziver, or Shiver, our olive green. No, this is mustard yellow. This is an olive green. Our mustard yellow Terran in the bottom right corner of Good Night. Hold on, it's a cider match? What's the matchup of the missing group? Is Archipress a Zerg? Archifress? Oh, you can't just tempt me with a cider ZVT? Absolutely, send me those replays. factory expand from our Terran, and just really standard stuff from our Protoss as well. So we should see that core start spinning as soon as it finishes, and then Dragoons out whenever they can be out. It's actually going to be Dragoon first and then core. And then Singularity Charge. Probe Scout going to come up, but probably is just going to get killed by 2 Marines. Yeah, it gets killed by 2 Marines. Well, SCV going to get the full scout because SCVs have 500 health. It will die, but it does see the 2 gates. Oh shit. Oh, huh. Yeah, I think when you come in and you see this, right, you have to go, oh, okay, it's a 2. That's the weird thing. Okay, so the SCVs have been re-added back to gas, but it's not a 2 factory. Well, we might see the second factory start here pretty soon, and then they'll push out and then start adding on vultures to back it up. Because this has to be a 2 fac. Pure Bagoid redeeming the oh shit. This is gonna completely fuck over the overlay, but we have Pure Bagoid redeemed the fucking boomer graphics fucking channel points thing. So we're gonna watch the rest of this game in ye old classic. Put it back, and well, you know what? You're gonna have to pay for it again. This is unfortunate. All right, Marines coming up. We have enough Dragoons though. You can't really. Once you have 2 gateways, you're kind of safe against this build. Redeemed Light Swarm. Redeem the points. So let us return back to our comfort zone. Okay, look. The game doesn't look that bad. Okay, look, it looks fine like this. It does not look that bad. We played like that for years. Okay? Kids these days, the bunker is going to be, oh my god. Dragoons target firing down the siege tank. It looks like they're going to get it, but at the cost of letting the bunker finish. That SCV was so close to dying too. If they had targeted it down and then targeted down well, actually, I don't even know what that. Okay, so with only 1 SCV repairing the bunker will fall. Simon, when are you gonna get the card box again? I don't know. If I probably do need to just go ahead and get it, but don't you have to actually go to the main menu and like select it for it to work, or can you toggle between it like this? It's only like 15 bucks. I should, I guess. Alright, Jarcino finally getting their expansion. But Shiver behind that pressure, that 1 fac pressure contained thing, they still were able to get their expansion up. So they're pretty far ahead, I'd say, at this point. They have vultures, they have spider mines, so they are going to be able to just kind of take map control. And meanwhile, Jarcino is kind of going to be playing on the back foot here. Vulture's going to try to swoop in, or they're just going to lay these spider mines down. Ooh, very nice pickoff by Jarcino, but the rest of the spider mines do get laid. Yeah, really nice little spread out here by Shiver. Whoa. Clean up those spider mines, and they're going to start heading across the map. Shiver adding on the extra factories here, as Jarcino is just going to be moving their Dragoons across just to kind of buy the space outside the Terran's main, clear this area. So one of the important things in PvT is making sure that the Terran doesn't just get to leave the spider mines everywhere. And so you kind of just have to keep, you know, keep notice that you have to be sure to clear like the very prominent lanes. So that's a lot harder to do in like a situation where you're cross spawn, because there's so many ways you can move across the map. But like when you're next to each other like this, it's like, okay, you really just have to make sure there aren't any mines in like this area. And as long as this area is clear of mines, you're pretty okay. Alright, so siege mode extremely late from Shiver, so these Dragoons do just get to kind of sit here. You're going to dive in, take a pick on a siege tank. Is that worth it? Is this worth it? Observer does get taken out. That's not worth it, I don't think. 2 Dragoons for a siege tank? Maybe it is. Is it harder for Terrans to make siege tank than it is for Protoss to make Dragoons? Probably. Alright, gateway count going up. Protoss, the main thing, Protoss generally, I guess a good rule of thumb is Protoss generally wants to have twice as many gateways as their opponent has factories. So at three factories, you kind of want to have 6+ gateways. Alright, tanks moving across the map. So this is the kind of thing where like you don't want to just have your Dragoons kind of sitting here, because now Shiver was able to come all the way across the map. Now these tanks are on low ground, which means if they take this fight, it is heavily favoring Jarcino. But so the tanks will probably just try to move up here and then siege and maybe actually no, they're just gonna do a full retreat. Yeah, I guess with this many Dragoons you actually can't take this fight with only 4 tanks. Third Nexus going up for Jarcino, a bit late, but still. You know, as long as Protoss can get a base ahead of Terran, they can even the game out. It's kind of like the inverse of PvZ, where in PvZ, Protoss, as long as Protoss can stay at least 1 base behind Zerg, they've evened the game out. In PvT, you have to be 1 base ahead of the Terran. Alright, here's a big move out from Shiver. Lots of tanks. Jarcino going to try to just rotate the Dragoons around, might be able to prevent this third from being built. And we also have a pack of Dragoons down here to also catch if like this happens and Shiver tries to run these Zealots to do a run by, they'll run right into this group of Dragoons. So these Dragoons just kind of moving around. This third base is very wide open, but again, it might not just get caught if Jarcino doesn't go looking for it. They killed the bird. Alright, a bit of an engagement here. Tanks will siege up. And yeah, he's just not going to see this base. That's crazy. He's not even going to check for it. That is unfortunate. This SCV living his life. As soon as this command center finishes, he's going to see all these Dragoons and be like, oh god. You just assume that base is going to die, but these Dragoons aren't even like looking up here. And now we have a Goliaths with Charon boosters on the way. Oh, I guess the CC doesn't have that much extra vision. Okay. Well, I guess these two are just going to pretend that they can't see each other, even if they just look slightly down to either side. Alright. Loading some Zealots up in the shuttle, doing some drops. That's a super fun style to do. And I think Shiver scanned. Yeah, they scanned, they saw the army leaving, and then they have to double scan just to make sure that, like, okay, hold on, did I actually see that? And they did. This question does become, when does Jarcino realize this base is here, right? Alright, we do have a SCV transfer. Is this the trigger that Jarcino needs to, like, go, oh, I need to probably check up here? Maybe, but it is the trigger that Shiver needs to know that he has to clear this army. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. Alright, so here comes the engagement. Siege tank sieging up. Yeah, this is extremely bad. Okay, but this shuttle is going to come in and drop some zealots on the siege tanks. Very nice move there, getting them on top. And that looks like a fight is going to be in Jarcino's favor, just from all the siege tanks. Now, Jarcino finally sees that this base exists, but also, he gets to kill the Terran army while he's at it. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Gateway man, gateway man. So that's going to clean up this third base and put Shiver definitely on the back foot. Their tank count has been completely reset. They're up to 6 factories, and if we come over to the Protoss bases, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 gateways. So again, following that pattern, Terran at 6 factories, Protoss goes to 12 gateways. Now they are going to push, and this base is going to die, but I think Jarcino might be getting a little greedy trying to push up into the main here. They might think they have a bit... They seem to think they have more space than they actually do, but diving on, getting this tank, that's very nice, but we do have a Spider Mine going off, getting rid of the remaining Dragoons. I think Jarcino might be overextending, but they will still get this base, so who's to say? Behind this, they have a lot of minerals ready to macro out. They have, they have 12 gateways, better start using them. There's nothing in production. This command center does finally die. An army gets moved across the map, and Jarcino, once he remembers he has these, and he looks like he does, but he's only putting 6 zealots in production because it might stress the psionic matrix if he activates all 12 gateways at the same time. So here comes a little push in. Non-siege tanks, they can fight Dragoons. They don't want to, but they can. Running Dragoons up into the bunker, again, not a great idea. But you can do it. Gateways. Alright, a round of Dragoons coming out. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the unfortunate thing, right, is, like, you have to keep your macro up. Protoss is so heavily reliant on being able to out-macro their opponents that if you aren't macroing, you do just eventually, like, will fall behind, as we see here, where Jarcino just has to back off, right? So that means that this SCV will be able to come out and take that third again, and Jarcino kind of threw away a really dominant position by focusing on attacking as opposed to just reinforcing their positions over and over again. We also have some gateways that aren't rallied, but that might be fixed here in a second. We do have an observer in the main, so we are keeping tabs on the factory count, so that's always good. Probes heading out to take a 4th and 5th base. SCV heading out to take a 4th base. Oh yeah, main's mined out for both players, so Jarcino, again, is in the lead there, right? Because they've had this third operational for a bit longer. So if they're able to take this 4th and 5th, they'll be pretty good. This probe actually moving out to go scout over here. That's really smart, I like that. Since the probe will be able to see that this base is coming up, and then maybe they can just send a DT or 2 up that way. Both players are really good on their worker count. 59 SCVs, 64 probes. Yeah, so the probe will... Yeah, and that's actually going to force this to cancel. We'll probably see like a vulture rallied up there. Oh, Jarcino actually mobilizing their entire army to go and kill a single SCV. But Shiver's kind of also mobilizing their army to start heading up and kill a probe. A pylon actually placed on that position, so won't be able... So they actually do need some fighting forces to be able to kill that in a reasonable amount of time. Scan's going down all over the map, checking for where the army's at. Doesn't see it quite yet, but sees that the natural is open and begins to go and pounce on it. The only issue is that's going to leave this army wide open for a counterattack from the reinforcements. Vultures getting High Templar for free, always pretty good. Getting Zealots for free, also pretty good. So it definitely looks like this is just going to be a big massacre for the units that are here, but this tank backline is completely open. That's a lot of vultures. I won't lie. That is a ton of vultures, but these tanks are going to be split off from those vultures, and those vultures are going to die, but not before killing an absolute fucking drone load of probes. Storm going down, kind of not really hitting anything, even though it looks like it should. Second storm going down, again, not really hitting anything. Probes being melted through. Yeah. That's, actually, is Jarcino gonna lose this? They're now 60 supply behind their opponent. Shiver has been macroing very steadily here. Jarcino down to 36 probes. They're about to lose their natural base. They're trying to push a fight that isn't going to work because these tanks are sieged up. And there also are just a bunch of vultures in the main. Yeah, this is a game, right? If this isn't game, it's very close to it. I mean, this production of dragoons should be able to kill the vultures, but like, yeah, this feels just like a massive miscall on Jarcino's like play here. That is a lot of vultures. Alright, Spider Mine's going off, doing a lot of free damage, just melting through the dragoons, but taking rid of a good amount of vultures as well. And we have High Templar coming back, and High Templar not exactly known for their abilities to kill vultures. Yeah, this is wild. I mean, Jarcino has a massive bank, so they do have, like, you know, some room to work with. But they're down to 35 probes, the 59 SCVs. Shiver is getting their 4th base up. They're still macroing off of, you know, they're up to 7 factories now. The vultures are finally cleared up, but Jarcino's going to have to replenish their probe count. And really, they only have 1 mining base. I don't know where all their probes are at. I guess they're all here. Massive SCV transfer up to this base. The tanks are going to come up siege here. They'll be able to kill this pylon and set up the 5th base as well. And it looks like the macro is just going in Shiver's favor at this point. Yeah. I guess we can also look at the upgrades of 2-2 for Terran, 0-0-1 for Protoss, so yeah. Terran upgrades are the most broken things in the game, so especially as Terran is approaching 3-2, it will get close to impossible for Jarcino to actually take this game without implementing Arbiters or Carriers. Scans going down all over. Again, we also can't stress enough how that it's a 60 supply lead for Terran, and Terran is a race in this matchup. Is supposed to be operating on like a supply deficit. They're not supposed to be ahead of Protoss in supply on any stage of the game. And if they are, Protoss is losing very badly. There's really not enough up here to defend this base either. Like, 4 cannons is good, but once vultures get their upgrades, they're dealing like 13 damage a shot instead of 10, which stacks. Jarcino sees the cancel, isn't checking, but I think he is going to. You know, you have to at least check this base, right? We do have dragoons coming out, and especially once you see the dragoons coming. Vultures do almost no damage, but when you get enough vultures, they do no damage in a large quantity. be a counterattack by from Jarcino is coming. There's not really an observer with the army, so this whole spider mine field is well, at least mostly Zealots are killed by them. But then we have 4 siege tanks fighting mostly Dragoons. Again, nearly a 100. So nice storm, very nice storm actually. If we had a second one to follow up, those tanks would have all been killed. But we have returning tanks here, ready to fight the Dragoons off. And this third base is finally running out of resources. Jarcino never started mining at their natural again. And I think Shiver is going to take this game. I mean, I don't think, I know they are. Jarcino has a bit of a bank to work with, but it's not going to be enough. The third is finally mined out. They have no income, while Shiver just continues to grow and grow and grow. Yep. GGs are called, and Shiver takes the first game. Not much more to say about that. Terran, pretty good race, pretty good units. And that's why Yoi don't act like that at the start. Wise words, wise words. Alright. Time to hop into game 2. On to Eclipse. Oh, okay, hold on. We have to switch that over. In the top right corner, we have Shiver playing the dark purple Terran. Bottom left, Jarcino playing the light pink Protoss. Sending a probe out immediately, as you do on Eclipse. It's a very cheesable map. So I guess, I mean honestly, right, when your game 1 kind of goes like that, I think you just have to be honest with yourself and be like, you know what, the macro isn't there. The macro wasn't there in game 1, let's just go for the micro plays. Very early probe is going to be able to build pylons extremely close to Shiver's base. So there's the pylon. And so I guess this will come down to if Shiver can defend a 2-gate. There's a lot of ways Terran can do that. Scouting it, of course, means you can be well prepared for it, but you also want to be able to set up that anti-zealot wall. Unfortunately, I don't think this is it. You want to build the pylon here, the barracks here. And you can actually go like supply depot, barracks, supply depot. I've seen that a lot, and that seems to be the most effective one, where there's just a little nook in between the supply depots where you can tuck the Marines and be completely safe. You don't even have to like micro them in and out. I think that is probably one of the best. Something's going to get stuck there. I think that's like the best SimCity. I feel like if you're playing TVP, you should just always do that. It doesn't really feel like there's a huge opportunity cost to not building that kind of, not building the anti-zealot SimCity. But when you, I mean, the games where you don't build it are the games where the zealots come, right? Now I think this might still work. The Marines might be able to run in between this gap. But again, it's going to be the issue of like, they're going to have to actually actively micro through it. And I don't know if, you know, we're in tier 3, so the micro is on the Terran. It's like, it's on the Terran to defend. The Zealots can run around and get a lot of like efficient trades and stuff, but it really is, if the Terran micros, the Zealots can't do anything. Whereas if the Zealots micro, they just hit things a little bit better, you know? So first Zealot coming up. This is going to be big if this Marine gets killed immediately, which it looks like it won't. That's very good. Also factory on the way for a Shiver. So that's like the big target. Probe getting that Marine. Very great tag team from our two Protoss units. The Zealot, again, like the Zealot's main goal for the Protoss is to keep this factory from being built. And if you're able to stop the... Okay, so that is an anti-Zealot, so the Marines do get the probe there. Bunker going up. So if you can kill the Marine, you want to kill the Marine. But because the Marines are so microable, you kind of also want to be targeting down these SCVs building things. Because if the buildings are complete, if either a bunker or a factory finishes, you have a really hard time transitioning out of this. The bunker does finish, so it is on Shiver to get Marines to it. And if they get in there, I mean, that is good, but 4 Zealots can kind of fight a Marine in a bunker. 2 Marines in the bunker, though, it's a different story. It's going to come out to the repairs. Zealots have a lot of DPS, but it looks like the repairs are going down. And yeah, I mean, that's a hold there. 2 Zealots at almost no health. But the factory is outside of the bunker range. So if we have 1 Zealot keeping pressure, the rest of the Zealots like baiting, like forcing the Marines to run back to the bunker, you can prevent this factory from finishing. And if you're able to do that, oh, and that's a terrible RNG placement from the SCV, is going to die immediately. And if you can get this factory delayed enough, once Dragoons come out, this game is over. And I think that is the direction we are taking. This Shiver really needs to build the factory like right up in here. But it looks like he's building it over here. Again, that might be safe, but the Zealots can come around and hit this. The Cybernetics Core just about to finish, as the probes are going to start mining gas. Again, you just need to get a couple Dragoons. Because the one thing, the Dragoons can kill the supply depot, they can kill the barracks, they can kill the refinery, which is one of the other big targets. If Jarcino, a really great play, would be moving these Zealots up and around and killing this refinery, since it is also out of the bunker's range, and it will prevent the Terran from being able to build siege tanks. Yeah. So this whole outer shell here is like untenable, but Marines are going to get into the bunker, and the Zealots are going to run behind and be able to start putting pressure on this side of the base. Again, okay, looks like they're going to be trying to target down this supply depot, which I mean is worth it, right? It'll supply block the Terran. They have a factory up. I don't know how many supplies Vultures are. I think they're only 1, but they might be 2. And in that case, these Marines need to like commit a, you know, they need to commit some friendly fire to get that Zealot up, to get that Vulture out, because that Vulture is far more important than the Zealots at this point. Alright, yeah, I mean, 8 SCVs, Shiver can't do a lot. 67 minerals, so not even enough minerals for a Vulture. All the SCVs holding minerals are dying. Jarcino is just targeting down these mineral SCVs to delay that Vulture as long as possible. He finally, oh, he built another Marine, so he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. Oh, he built an SCV, actually. But now that the Dragoons are being in production, I mean, yeah, Dragoons, they'll get out here, they'll be able to pick off these 2 supply depots. They'll be able to run around here, kill the refinery. The Vulture is finally on the way, but again, we have a gateway in the main that can build Dragoons, so it's not even like Jarcino is going so far out of their way to put pressure here. The Zealots on the ramp are great play. The Vulture will have to like clean through these guys before it actually can bust out. And yeah, I think as soon as Shiver sees that there are Dragoons with the army, it has to be GG, right? There's no way that they'll be able to fight this on such low econ. Alright, Dragoons coming out. Vulture is down. First Vulture's dead. The Marine does die as well. And now these Dragoons are just going to dive on the SCVs. Again, playing a little aggressively, you don't have to do this. Once you have these Dragoons out, the Terran really can't get siege tanks, so you just have to, you know, put pressure on the supply depots. Singularity Charge is just about to finish, so that will give Shiver all the space they need. They just need to like park a Dragoon on the ramp. That's great. So now the Vulture can't get out, but they do also have to make sure that they can get on top of the siege tank if it does come out. Vulture gonna try to make a move. Little moving shot micro there. No Marines in this bunker. So the Dragoons can come around and start putting pressure on this as well, but the Marines do finally get in there. And yeah, the micro, I'm not going to say, the positioning not exactly there from Jarcino. And again, we're seeing that that macro is falling behind as well, right? Like Jarcino is like moving these Dragoons around, they're getting a lot, they do get that bunker, which is huge. That means they can start putting pressure on the SCVs, but we have a siege tank on the way. But yeah, like we have a Nexus coming out as well to just further solidify the Protoss' hold on the game. And that's GG. Jarcino takes it in a pretty solid 2-gate. You know, there were mistakes made on both ends, but ultimately, I think, you know, the Protoss macro, that's the wrong splash screen. The Protoss macro, or the Protoss, you know, the efficiency of Protoss units held out in the end, and Jarcino was able to take it. Because 2-gate is a fucking great build. With that, we're going to hop into our last game of this match. Switch our stream over. We're tied up 1-1. Neo Sylphid. It's a 2-gate map. You can do it on this map. Neo Sylphid. In our top, Jarcino as our pink Protoss. Bottom left, we have Shiver as our blue Terran. This is a very 2-gateable map, and I think, like, mentally, if in Jarcino's head, they won with the 2-gate, they lost going for a macro game, it makes sense for them to go with the 2-gate again. But I guess it will come down to what our timing is going to look like. Is it going to be an in-base 2-gate? Are we going to have proxies? Shiver, of course, probably is aware that this is a map that you can 2-gate on. Is aware that they lost to a 2-gate in game 2. So they are going to be trying everything they can to drag the game out into a macro fashion to try and make a copy of game 1. Now it is going to be a pylon in the main here. A bit of a strange position, but that means that, like, we're not doing any proxies. We're not all-inning on these gateways. I mean, you can still do an in-base 10-12 gate. Now, it looks like that is what we're going to be doing. We have a... Well, it can be that. It doesn't look like that yet. There's our 10 gateway. We have the probe coming down. We have our anti-zealot set up. We have the supply depot barracks. Refinery made, so no gas steal. But we do have the first scout here from Jarcino, so they do know what their opponent is up to. That probe is getting some harassment done. Gonna have to switch which SCV is. Oh no, yeah. SCV down to 30 HP. Probe just doing his best. And we're at 12 supply. No assimilator yet. Okay, well, so the assimilator was very late. I'm just going to assume that was a mistake. I think the common problem I'm seeing, at least, is I think Jarcino, they're microing, and they're getting all these little things that don't really matter. Like, microing this probe to harass an SCV that's building a refinery, unless you're... It doesn't really matter. The reason why pros are able to do it is because they have so much extra APM that they're doing their macro stuff that they can just also do this on top. It's like, this is not, like, being able to harass the opponent's main. Of course, keeping the probe alive is important, but being able to, like, harass SCVs or moving the probe around the enemy's main, it's like the added efficiency on top of your basic macro stuff. And it is going to be 2 gateways, just it's going to be more like 2-gate game as opposed to an actual 2-gate attack. And it is going to be an expansion here coming out for Shiver. Only one SCV on gas. But yeah, you really want to get your macro solid and then focus on your micro, because then you have, like, those kinds of things where it's like, oh, your assimilator is starting at the same time your cybernetics core is, so now the singularity charge is very delayed. The Dragoon production is kind of weird at this point. First Dragoon heading across the map. Siege, the machine shop coming down on the factory, so it is going to be a siege expand. This Dragoon is going to start taking pot shots at Marines. so stupid. Jarcino's going to have to play it very carefully. Okay, machine shot finished. We should see the siege tank started here fairly soon, unless he's going to be getting starting siege mode first. Yeah, bunker, siege tank. More dragoons filtering across the map, as well as a probe. And that'll leave this bunker up. SCV going to scout, but there are just dragoons around the map. So 3 dragoons, 4 and 5 being rallied as well. Probe getting ready to set up the second nexus. Sorry. Probe is also going to be setting up the third nexus soon. Alright, dive on the thing, trying to snipe the tank, and it looks like it is going to get it. Honestly, if you snipe that tank, just run the dragoons in, right? They're already halfway in, there's nothing blocking there. They could just run into the main and win the game. Oh, and the bunker's going to bust. That's actually huge. Shiver was not able to repair in time, and honestly, again, that is looking like it's going to be game over, right? We do have some dragoons ready to reinforce, but now there's no bunker set up to defend, and it's going to come down to these SCVs to hero their way in. They get 1 dragoon, only 5 more to go, but unfortunately 4 are getting into the main, and we have a siege tank being produced that is going to die basically immediately. Not before microing back. Oh, the SCVs get another dragoon. But the edge killed the tank. Okay, there we go. Jarcino, again, SCVs they can fight dragoons. They actually are very scary when you're in this position. Jarcino, if they don't micro their dragoons well, but Shiver's gonna GG. Bit anticlimactic, but Jarcino takes it 2-1 over their Terran opponent for their group. Let's actually go ahead and, hold on, let me change, I'm going to go ahead and change our score. I think that was the original score for game 1, I don't remember. Jarcino with 1 point, Jarcino with 2 points, and Shiver with 1. So we have 2 more maps, 2 more games left. Go ahead and get these extra two extra maps, these 2 extra games for our those are loaded up now, and we are going to take a very short break and be back with Vint versus Quirky. And then Cider versus Archipress, which is a map, 2 maps I did not have earlier. Okay. Where is... Okay. We're back. Have some matches. Let's see if these games loaded in. They did. Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Huh. Alright, well, our first match that we have to go through is Quirky Cass versus Vint, or as they are called in game, Programmer. We have games to get through, okay? Alright. In the top right corner, we have Quirky Cass as the red Protoss player, otherwise known as Quirky. And in the bottom left, we have Programmer as the gray Protoss, otherwise known as Vint on the overlay. Oh, geez. Okay. Well, this is going to be that kind of game. Hell yeah. Okay. With the proxy gate in the center, 9-9 gate, center of Good Night. This is a great place for it. Yeah. Not scouted by Quirky Casts. You have to be aware that it exists, I think. This question comes down to how are they going to defend this? Usually to defend a 2-gate, you need a 2-gate of your own, but Quirky Cast is going to be going for a very, looks like a regular PvP opening. Unfortunately, they haven't gotten their assimilator yet. So there's the second gateway. So it is a 10-12 gate from Quirky Cast and 9-9 gate from Programmer. This should benefit Quirky since they have the gateways in their base, and so when Zealots come out, they will be able to immediately resupply the front lines. When Programmer scouts an empty base, they will have to assume that it is going to be that it's going to be a 2-gate, and they're going to have to defend that. First Zealot comes out. First Zealot comes out from both players, so Quirky Cast doesn't, I guess, realize, isn't assuming that it is a 2-gate yet. And Programmer, their Zealots are just YOLOing up into the main. Now there is a bit of a delay in the mining time here as Quirky Cast has 3 probes, but the thing is, this is very important. If these probes are able to kill this probe, yeah. So now a lot of what Cybernetics Core up for Quirky Cast. Well, I mean, they're defending this pretty well. Regardless of the Manor Pylon, you have 2 pretty healthy Zealots, 3 pretty healthy Zealots. Programmer is supply blocked. They are only building these gateways from the main. The Cybernetics Core is already up, so we can start seeing Dragoons start coming in as soon as gas mining begins. This Zealot is about to get caught by all these probes. He's going to find some way to wiggle out of it, but I mean, that just kind of just means they can go for gas. Zealot will die eventually as more begin filtering in, and as long as Quirky Cast can hold on to this, they can just start getting that Dragoon production in and end the game there. Although they are saving their money for the Dragoons when they probably should just be building Zealots just so their gateways can be doing something. Quirky Cast, meanwhile, is finally getting their pylon and their assimilator in their main base. And, yeah. This programmer has to keep trying to keep these zealots in the opponent's base, because if the zealots ever A-move across the map, they just kill this pylon and completely, I mean, the game is over at that point. Not much you can do. Citadel of Doom coming down for Quirky cast, so we should be seeing maybe a shift over into Dark Templar. And from that, well, that's just going to be the game, because there's no way programmer, unless they go for a forge, there's no way that they'll be able to get the base up in time. They're going to try and kill the gateways, which is a play. I mean, if they were attacking the pylon would basically be dead by now, but it's fine. Killing the gateways works too. Three zealots heading towards the main here. Nothing here to defend. The forge is on the way, but it will not have the cannons up in time to actually be able to save the probes, because zealots kind of kill photon cannons just as fast as zerglings do. So there's the forge. The cannon will probably have to be built right here, which means that this assimilator will get destroyed for free as well. Okay, yep, cannon right there in the middle of the probe line. Zealots are going to get on top of it. It is going to die extremely quickly, and the zealots are just going to be able to fight these probes. That's going to be game. Yeah. Quirky cast holds the 2-gate, and yeah, we'll take the game. Oh, never mind. There's a zealot in the main here, but I mean, you can build DTs, so. Oh, and the proxy nexus. Okay, programmer doing their best to stay in. But let's just see some DTs, okay? 2 DTs started immediately. The Templar Archives finished. 2 DTs. Okay, zealots work too, I guess. GG's called from programmer. And they leave the game. That's our game 1. Okay. That's interesting. Was very glitchy. Ah, I see. Yeah, I don't know why my kilobytes per second upload speed kind of nuked itself there. So I guess we're just gonna, no, it's okay. We're like bouncing between the regular usual 6,000 kilobytes per second, like dropping down all the way to 0. So having a very interesting network activity rate here. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, no, that was the right game. For some reason, I thought that game 2 wasn't on Eclipse. All right. I guess we're just gonna keep going through it. Hopefully, we don't glitch out so hard for the rest of this. Programmer in the top right corner of Eclipse. Quirky Cass in the bottom left corner, playing as the olive green Protoss versus Programmer's gray Protoss. and no early probes sent out, so it looks like we are not going to be having a repeat of game 1, as both players are just going to, you know, stay in their base, stay home, build the gateways back here. Pretty early scout from Programmer. Scout on Pylon could mean that they might be going for a gas steal. And honestly, a PvP gas steal is very funny. Do it. Do it. Get the gas steal. No. A PvP gas steal is very funny, but it's not very effective. Gates from Quirky casts, still only 1 from Programmer, so we're going to see again that sort of early zealot pressure, and we do see the gas steal from Programmer. So if Quirky cast is going to go for like a more tech heavy route, which it looks like they are, they start their cybernetics core even though they don't really have anything mining gas. But for example, if they can like hold the 2-gate pressure, they could try to skip into DTs really fast, and then as long as the opponent, I mean obviously Quirky cast could get photon cannons to defend that, but you know, it is delaying the zealots by a lot. And shield battery set up, so yeah, Programmer is set up to be able to deal with this. Second pylon going down. Oh, a bit of a supply block there, and this is a very unfortunate time to start that supply block. We do have another pylon go down right there. And these 2 other zealots coming out of Quirky cast will kill the assimilator, so they will be able to start mining gas as well. On the cybernetics core, a Dragoon is on the way for Programmer. Second gateway going down, a little bit late, but or later rather. I mean, it's not very late because you can get into other types of tech. I guess we'll be seeing what kind of direction that tech takes this game. Gateways done, so we will see double Dragoon production as well as an instant Robo. So the Robo, oh jeez, don't lead with the Dragoon, lead with the Zealot. He is the tank. The Dragoon is DPS. This is not how this RPG works. Oh shit, hold on, that Cybernetics core took a lot of incidental damage, but oh jeez. Yeah, if he actually got that, that would be huge, but he does see the Robo facility starting, so he can know that, you know, it is going into Robo. And he is getting the Citadel of Adun to get into High Templar, unless he did not see that this was a Robo facility and he's going to go into DTs and be very sad when his units are scouted. When he can see the invisible men, that will be a problem. Okay, Robo finished, so are we going to see the observatory? No, we're going to see the support bay first. We'll probably see the observatory after that, once we get up to that. I think it's like 100 gas. The observatory is really cheated. It might be 25, 150. Bay done. Observatory started. It's only 100. Okay. It's 5,100, I think. There's the Templar Archives with Quirky. So again, I think we're going to see... Honestly, also, going High Templar isn't even that bad, because if you're trying to, like, bust up a ramp, you can just keep storming here and, like, you know, force Programmer to move out of the storm and then get up the ramp. But the problem is, I think if you're doing that, you really want to be able to... Okay, Templar Archives, let's see where we're taking this, and it's 2 DTs. Unfortunate. Once this Reaver comes out, it's going to be Shuttle, but then Observer, and Observers build extremely quickly. These DCs have to finish, they have to get across the map. Programmer's going to have plenty of time to get that Observer out and defend themselves from the Dark Templar. Programmer Quirky did get the faster expansion, though. I guess it's just like, the thing is, Reavers are really freaking good. So in this fight, especially, oh god, yeah, like Programmer 7 probes more than their opponent. That's a good fight they can take. Now, the Dark Templar are on their way, but there are no Observers out yet. But once these DTs actually join in this fight, we hear the men doing the little swipey swipes. You need to start that Observer immediately. Oh no, they didn't even get Dragoon range. Okay, Observer started. You have to go defend the base, because that DT is gonna get a lot of free a lot of free probe kills. Observer halfway. Oh, that DT wasting a lot of time. One of them is just assaulting the... Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's bad, actually. DT on the ramp, really like that, but the Observer will finally see it. They'll be able to clear it, and then go save 9 probes. But the thing is, behind this, what does Quirky Cast actually have? They have 2 Dragoons. Actually, yeah, Programmer's just gonna go kill him, I guess. 5 probes left. Cybernetics core destroyed. This is a mess of a game. This is an absolute mess of a game. Quirky Cast building no probes. Has a second base from either of their Nexi. Well, that's a free Dragoon lost. Oh no, oh no, come on, get him. That Reaver was about to die for free as well. That's why Observers are very, very important. What an absolute mess. Well, it's 17 probes to 6. I guess still though, Quirky Cast has the benefit that they have a Reaver, and Reavers are a nuts unit. So if they take a very good, or Programmer has that advantage. So if this Reaver drops, gets a couple good shots on these Dragoons. Let's see this happen. First shot. Okay, that's pretty decent. Second shot, actually, I might not even really need the Reaver. But yeah, that's a lot of excess damage thrown down. You just need to keep pushing. Quirky adding on that third gateway. Programmer not pushing it, instead also building probes back at home. Here comes the push. Reaver dropped a little bit too far back, but moves forward. Okay, gets one Dragoon. Dragoon's hopping on top of the Reaver. barely picked up in time, pulled back. Dragoon's taking a lot of free damage, but that Reaver needs to drop the health, put the damage down. I guess it picked up the Dragoon as well. And now it's 1 Dragoon versus 3 Dragoons and a Reaver, 2 building from here. We have a 3rd gateway so we can see more. Honestly, you know, mix a DT in there. Just check to see if the Observer's still with the army. Back at home, Programmer is now catching up to Quirky and Workers. Which, when a DT kills the majority of workers that you have, this shouldn't happen, but I guess we're on a very low econ game. A lot of stress running high for both players. Dragoon's kind of fumbling around on what is going on here. Both players doing their best to make sure their Dragoons glitch out. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Oh, man. Okay, Reaver does get taken out. 5 Dragoons versus 2. 5 Dragoons versus 1 in a shuttle. But it's now 14 probes to 18. Programmer has caught up. Kind of. Not really. Today's lesson, build probes. Quirky finally building extra probes after Programmer has caught up from behind when there's no reason that this should have happened like this. Extra Reaver being built. Again, once the Reaver comes out, it basically will become almost impossible to bust this natural. Also, probes, they don't do the best at fighting Dragoons, but they can retreat to the main, and I mean, there's not any saturation going on up there. Programmer going to try to angle in, gets one Dragoon, runs back up the ramp, going to get another Dragoon. If they get this Cybernetics core again. Okay, Programmer taking a really nice fight here, kind of separating the units out. Dragoons are on patrol. There he goes. There he goes. Yeah, unfortunately, you know, if this was a cleaner fight, Programmer would have been able to maybe take this by angling it up, but the Reaver is going to be coming out now. It should have Scarabs. It does not have Scarabs, so it's going to run back up the ramp. It should be able to save the Nexus, though. Like, this Nexus should be able to be saved. Quirky cast floating 1k resources. No one is building anything. Just build Zealots, build anything. There's an assimilator here. 5 probes going to the assimilator. Make sure they can mine that. Quirky cast running up the ramp. Reaver letting them do it. 2 Zealots coming. We could... Oh no, is this Reaver gonna die? Okay, Reaver. Shield battery. Shield battery! Oh! One more. Okay, Scarab going off. This should be a win for Quirky casts. Emphasis on should, but we've gone so far back and forth that, like, I have no idea. This should win. There's no way, right? The Reaver comes out. There's no Dragoons in production, even though we could have 2 Dragoons in production. GGs are called. Programmer leaves game 1, and that is going to be a win for Quirky. If we go to our splash, nope, that's the wrong one. We can head back to our splash screen, and if I am correct, I believe that is all we have. Yeah. So Quirky takes the games. I think all of that. Okay. And then we have a special match, which is going to be Cider versus Archipress in a TVZ, which I am doing because Cider is my favorite Terran player, and they make Valkyries in TVZ, and it's amazing. In the top left of Goodnight, we have Archipress, our red Zerg player. In the top right, we have Slip It Insider, a dark blue Terran player. Yeah, so Cider's like my favorite. Like I like them. I like casting their games because their TVZ is hilarious, and it's like you don't really see anything like it. A lot, you know. It's just doing Valkyries, like mass Valkyrie play, and treating them like Corsairs. It's just really fun to watch, and it's not something you get a lot. You don't see it a lot, right? Usually you see Valkyries, it's like, okay, this is a reaction to... I think Cider's looking to play you this week. We are playing this week. So you know what, maybe I'll message them after this game, and then we'll just skip our last group. I'll message them after this and finish this up. And we'll stream that game. We'll watch some. This is now gone from a fun cast to us looking up. This is opposition intelligence. Okay, this is research. Even though I play Protoss. Expansion going down for Cider. Zerglings coming around. Should get cleaned up though. There's enough Marines here to stop this from doing any major damage. It's just 2 Zerglings. Scouting SCV picked off. Oh yeah, I was just not saying anything. Sometimes the game kind of speaks for itself. Well, there goes Alpha Squad. Got killed by some poor fella's dog. Lurker rush. So 2 base lurker from Archipress. That's something. Do we have any scans? No scans. Just going straight to mech. There's the starport. And the academy being created as well. So we might have some comsat stations ready for when scan comes out. Oh, we have the engineering base, so we will also have missile turrets. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, get back, Mr. Biker Man. So might have to get some... So he does also know that it's lurkers. So Wraith coming out, that's so smart. The Wraiths to counter the Zerg siege tanks. Of course, if a single Hydralisk shows up, it does get shot down because it is made of paper, but we really need that missile turret to get up, though. The thing is, I think you also need to get spider mines, or, you know, at least a siege tank to be able to peck at the lurkers from range. Second missile turret coming up, but here's the attack. Lurkers coming in. They're going to be able to kill this SCV. Zerglings coming in, getting on top of the bunker. Repair goes down, but it looks like it's going to break. They're going to have to retreat back to the back bunker, but that actually is apparently a marine-tight wall, and Zerg is just going to be able to run right into here. That, again, there's one Hydralisk. If it gets the attention of the Wraith, this Hydra will tear it down, and the siege tanks are going to be too late. GG, well played from Cider. They lose the game. Alright, time to head over. Oh, where's my... There it is. Time to head over to our second game on Eclipse. Bit disappointed we didn't see any Valkyries, but you know what? That's what Eclipse is for. Okay, we can see Valkyries this game. Oh my god, it's a 4-pull. What the fuck? Hell yes. Let's go. 4-pull time. What's going on here? What are we building? What's going to die to an amazing 4-pull? Of course we're on a 2-player map and we get a 4-pull. So, the great thing about this is that it's on a 2-player map. Archer Press is up 1 game. So if they win, if they can just throw a game away like this, right? They're up 1. They just have to win 1 game. And you can just be like, okay, I'm just going to flip a coin here. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, oh well. There's still 1 more game to play out. Chat says this is not what you want versus 4-pull. And you know what? Probably true. The SCV does see it coming, so we're probably going to see like a bunker go up in the main here. Actually, even then, I'm not even sure if that's good. I'm not sure what their Terran response is. Yeah, barracks going up in the main. We should probably see as soon as that barrack starts another bunker as well. Then maybe the Zerg gets like too caught up on killing these 2 buildings. And that Marine is going to have to come out and then make a beeline towards the main here. Yeah, bunker right there. But I don't think that Marine is going to make it. Yeah, that's 6 Zerglings. He's going to pop out here. Oh, he runs around. Great SCV pull to distract the Zerglings. If that Marine can get into the bunker, this might be a held game. Why are SCVs so good? If these were probes, they would all be dead. Just saying. I'm just saying. You know, I'm not salty or anything, but kind of insane that like SCVs can fight an even amount of Zerglings. Seems a little weird. Seems a little weird, just saying. Oh, but drones and probes can moving shot. Okay, Nightcat, when was the last time a moving shot saved drones and probes from like 5 Zerglings fighting them? SCVs are insane, okay? They're just in every situation except the very specific one where moving shot matters. SCVs are insane. But behind this, Archer Press is gonna start macroing up. Double barracks from Cider. They're gonna start their gas income. Zerglings are nuts. Holy shit. Almost saved it, but the second supply depot does finish in time. Oh my god. Well, they're gonna run into the bunker range and die, but yeah, I think if the Zerglings, they just need to stay back here and keep pressure on the barracks. And they might actually get it. This is a fun little dance. No? Okay. 540 and 900 respectively. Probes mine faster than SCVs. Actually incorrect. False. I remember reading it somewhere. I think it was on Team Liquid, but apparently the command center is a different shape than the Nexus and the hatchery. So even though the SCVs mine at the same rate as probes and drones, it's just like the tiniest bit more inefficient. So that's a lot of Marines. So we should be seeing 2 sunken colonies thrown up. There's no medics, so I think you're fine with just 2. You also still have Zerglings in the main. Is there anything in the bunker? No. So the Zerglings will just be able to start hitting things for free, again, putting this pressure on. Marines are going to try to push forward, but we have we have a sunken colony here, and that will drive them back. Zerglings just continue to put on the damage all over. Marine gets in the bunker, drives the Zerglings out. Okay. Yeah, this started from a 4-pool. Can't you tell? Those classic 4-pool games where the Zerg has more workers and 3 sunken colonies in their natural, and the Terran has 2 barracks getting their factory up. Lightswarm saying, "Ah, this game." What does that mean? Why does that sound so ominous? Have fun with this one. What does that mean, Lightswarm? Oh god. Light Swarm, you can't just send a Weaking, but what... Okay, so we have Hydras, we have an Evo Chamber, a Spire. So this looks like regular Zerg so far, nothing crazy. You have a drone count. I'm getting a safety bunker here. Big push. Well, okay. It's less of a push, more of a scouting expedition to make sure that the Zerg doesn't have like 5 million Hydralisks outside their base. Still no starport, so we're a little sad about that. Only 2 SCVs mining gas, I think? Yeah, only 2 SCVs mining gas, so a bit of an issue there. Here comes the big push across the map. Scan goes down, sees the Hydra Den, does not see the lair. That's actually very important since we have Mutalisks on the way. Engineering base started. 3 Mutalisks in production. Still no starport from our starport man. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. Is there anything in this bunker? There is not. Get in the bunker! Get in the bunker, Marines! Okay, he gets in the bunker, and then the bunker immediately dies. Oh! Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. And then there's a bunch of mutas here. Oh, the siege tank also is dead. That's not good. This is bad, I think. 2 fire bats coming out. Siege... Don't know about that one. We have the fire bats though. The anti-Zerging fire bat micro. Insane. How much damage does fire bats actually do? 16. Huh. Expansion coming up, but I don't think he really is in a safe position to do that. Oh, well, I guess if you're picking mutas off for free, it does kind of work. Oh my god. Oh, that just... all the mutas. There they go. Mutalist donation donated to the church. But there's more mutas. And there's some fire bat. I guess the mutas are just gonna go assault the main here. And more mutas are in production. Of course they are. 18 drones, 19 SCVs. Just picking off some straggling Marines. Okay. It would be great against those Mutalisks, Valkyries. But our hero is humble and will not be going Valkyries this game. That's a lot of mutas. Now imagine if you had like 6 more mutas, and that's how many mutas Archipress could have had. Oh, wrong button, wrong button, wrong button. cliffs, and that's not good. Start one-shotting SCVs, one-shotting Marines, and just keep diving over here. I don't think we have, we don't have comsat stations, even though we do have the academy. So you can scan up here and kind of fight them, but that's very difficult to do. This Marine, he's doing it. He's gonna find those Mutalisks for you boys. Oh no. Yeah, actually very good micro here from Archer Press, picking these Marines off a little at a time. Not a great decision here, just running right into the nest of missile turrets, but Mutas have infinite health, so he only lost one. Oh geez, that would even one-shot the Marine. What's being built behind this? We're going up the Hive off of 18 drones. So I guess we will have Dark Swarm out eventually. Well, here's a big push. Taking off some of the backline units. Losing Mutas in the process. We have a lot of Zerglings here, and I'm not really sure what the plan is with them. That's a pretty serious push here from Cider at this. Oh, Ultralisks. And Cider still has not gotten. Oh, the starport? That's the starport now. So we are going up into Science Vessels just very late. I think this push is going to try to deny the third base. They should be able to get it since the Ultras are pretty far behind. And even though there's a lot of Zerglings here, the Bio can kind of fight like a large amount of Zerg. Like once Bio gets enough, they can fight a large amount of Zerglings, punching way above their weight. Also, the Zerglings are just completely out of position, so if they're just able to get up here, they need to get up here though. Okay, then here comes the Zerglings coming back to fight. Mutas are going to come up. Firebat trying to block stuff in there. Siege Tank also trying to help fight those Zerglings, and the Zerglings will come up, get shredded. They will get the Siege Tank, but most of them will die to the Marines. So, Cider should be able to get this base. Maybe. Oh no, a lot of Marine DPS is being wasted on the Extractor, but even though that's only 6 Zerglings spawning out of there, so it should be fine. Huge counterattack coming, running across the map, but well, I guess there is actually nothing here to defend, so you know. Adrenal Glands almost finished, which is going to make all of these Zerglings individually absolutely insane. Yeah, this natural is forfeit. And there is the Adrenal Glands. Absolutely massive DPS. Look at that command center health. It is lifted off. That's really great. You'll love to see it. But Cider is now kept off of their expansion as Archer Press is moving into Ultralisks. Now, the Ultralisks aren't going to be insane yet. They have Ultra Armor on the way, so they're not going to have the full +5. But by the time the Ultralisks come out and actually engage in combat, they should be at +4, which versus an opponent where Cider has +1. Yeah, +4 Ultras I think are going to be invincible.
cow. Wrong button. What the? Why is the Ultralisk oriented different in the original version? That's weird. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Ultralisks can probably kill all of this because they have +5. Oh shit, what are they at? Are they at +4 or 5? They're at +4. They're at +4 armor. That gives the Ultra 5 armor. The Marine has 7 attacks, so each Marine shot does 2 damage to an Ultralisk. It's gonna take 200 Marine shots to kill an Ultra. Yeah, I think the Zerg is fine here. Cider is kind of not really. Unfortunately, their macro has slipped. They have a huge supply block, so they aren't able to spend their money. And because of that, I think once this fight actually happens, Archipress is just going to run over the Terran. 2-shotting Marines, roughly. Looks like that's it. The medics could set up and block the ramp and keep the Terran alive. And the Terran could just live on one base. But the medics have to be hold positioned. If the Ultras are able to get up here and start fighting, they won't be able to... oh no, Ultralisks are getting up here. Okay, really great medic placement by Cider. He's doing a great job of baiting them out. And I think he just does need to... Okay, he's going into battle cruisers. That's smart, since Ultras cannot hit up. Yeah. I think that'll work. He probably shouldn't be coming down here, since again, the Marines aren't really equipped to deal with the Ultralisks. But he's gonna push out, he's gonna try. I think once the first battle cruiser gets out, that's when he can really start trying to push his army out, since the battle cruiser can just keep repeatedly like taxing the Ultra health. Now behind this, Archipress is going for Greater Spire, which means we can see Guardians, we can see Devourers, and either of those will really help. Really Devourers more than Guardians would help Archipress out in this situation. Again, these Ultras just getting on top of the Marines, doing so much damage. This is why I was hesitant to say you should push down here, because they're just going to clean up. Yeah. Even at like low life, these Ultras will take a long time to kill. They 2-shot Marines. And finally the battlecruiser will come out, and the Ultras will die. But now there's just 4 more Ultras ready to come. And battlecruisers, they're great at taxing Ultralisk health. They're not actually that good at killing the Ultralisk, because they have to chew through 400 HP. You really want the battlecruiser to be hitting the Ultras when they're not on your army. But in a pinch, it can kind of work out. D-Matrix on a Marine, that's pretty good. Ultra trapped by medics, also good. But the Ultras are having a field day on the SCVs. Archipress is getting a third behind this. 3 more Ultralists in production. Flood of Lings coming in. The battlecruiser is doing its best, pinging off Zerglings. Oh, and the moving... Oh, just barely doesn't get there in time. You could have set up the medics and then moved the command center over them so that Archipress couldn't actually target fire the medics down. That would have been sick. That actually would have been a sick move. Similar to how you put Overlords over Lurkers so that you can't irradiate the Lurkers. Yeah, that's game though. They just bruise the space cattle, not kill. That is true, these are just cattle bruisers, not cattle killers. Yeah, they're going to try to go mine from the natural, but unfortunately there are Zerglings there already. And although we have 3 battle cruisers, I don't think that'll be enough to prevent the Zerg from just destroying this entire base. Scourge in production to deal with the battle cruisers, which like isn't really the answer. Scourge are actually terrible because battle cruisers can They one-shot Scourge if Scourge don't have armor upgrades. And I'm pretty sure if like they have like 2 upgrades, like 2 air attack upgrades, they will always one-shot Scourge regardless of armor, so yeah. Oh, and there's the guard. What the hell? This is a campaign mission right here. The battle cruisers and the guardians coming up here. Like this is that box art promo image right here. But it is a GG from Cider as the Zerg finishes their infestation of the Terran here. Alright. And that's the game. Archipress takes it 2-0 over Cider. Let's cut back over to our splash screen the second. That was our match. And depending on if Cider responds to this message or not, we can we might be able to stream these matches here. So because of that, we are going to skip. We're going to try to get this game in. We're going to skip our last planned group of the day, but we will stream that again later. Probably next weekend. We'll find a way to slip that. We'll find a way to slip this our tier 1 of Coach-Pupil Lifeguards versus Lettuce Attack. We'll find a place to put this so we can cast it later, as well as the tier 3 of Coach-Pupil Lifeguards versus Lettuce Attack. And I'm actually pretty sure that means I'll have casted every single one of these matches from week 7, but yeah. That's all we got. that's as far as casting goes, that's where we're gonna end up. Alright, well, looks like we will not have to wait for that game, so we probably won't stream it. Instead, we're just going to end the stream right here. And, we will kick everyone over to some other StarCraft stream. Let's see what's going on today. Browse. Here. Go watch DeWalt. They're a good Protoss player. Alt TV. Let me make sure I have that right. Yep. Okay. Go watch that if you want to see some more StarCraft. We will not have to wait for that game, so we probably won't stream it. Instead, we're just going to end the stream right here. And, we will kick everyone over to some other StarCraft stream. Let's see what's going on today. Browse. Here. Go watch DeWalt. They're a good Protoss player. Alt TV. Let me make sure I have that right. Yep. Okay. Go watch that if you want to see some more StarCraft.
GG's. Thanks for everything. Thanks for watching. Be sure to drop, please, if you feel like it, drop a follow or whatever Twitch stuff you do. And yeah, sign up for the CPL. Enjoy the CPL. Make clips of CPL casts. Go do all the fun things. Go watch this guy now. Bye.